Good evening, family. This is Mr. J. I just want to go over a couple of methods to divide, methods that we've been using to divide, right? This whole topic 5 is about dividing by one-digit numbers. And I just want to go over a couple of methods that we've been using, right? There's the third method that I'm going to go over right now. It hasn't been touched too much because they've been struggling with partial quotients. So I've been hammering this down a little bit more. But they did see it a little bit, but I haven't really got into it just because they've been struggling with this. I want them to get this more. Okay, the partial quotients more. So let's go over the first method. The first method is mental math. Mental math is pretty much using your multiplication basic facts, right? And it's using your multiplication times tables, right? So if you know your 6s, your 5s, your 7s, your 9s, you're gonna know your division, which is the flip side to multiplication. For example, you have 24 divided by 8. 24 divided by 8 is 3. How do I know that? Because 3 times 8 equals 24. Then you have 24 divided by 3 is 8. How do I know that? Because 8 times 3 equals 24. So if you know your multiplication facts, then you're gonna know the division, which is the flip side of it, okay? Using partial quotients, this is pretty much where they struggle at, okay? Partial quotients is using easy numbers to calculate, to reduce the dividend. Let's look over here real quick. I have this there up for them so they could see, okay? This is your dividend. Dividend is the amount of items that you're dividing, the total amount of items. Let's say, for example, in this case, we have 25 people, okay? My dividend is 25 people. My divisor, okay, is how many in each group. So let's say I want groups of 5, okay? In each group, there's gonna be 5 people, right? Or your divisor could be what you're dividing your dividend into, okay? Now, quotient. Quotient is just a fancy word for your division problem, right? It's your answer. It's your answer for a division problem, okay? So this is, your quotient is the amount of groups you were able to make with that 25, okay? So you have 25 people, you want 5 people in each group, you want groups of 25, so you're dividing that 25 into 5. And your quotient, which is 5, is the amount of groups that you were able to make. So I was able to make 5 groups of 25, okay? In this case, you have a remainder, okay? Your dividend is 26, you have 26 people, and you want groups of 5. You want 5 people in each group. In that case, I was able to make 5 groups, 5 equal groups, but I had 1 person remaining. Okay, so remainder is pretty much what you have left after you have divided your dividend into equal groups as much as you can. You can't do no more than 5. So if you can't do no more than 5, then you'll just have 1 person left. Okay, so that's your remainder. Okay, let's go back here. Let's go back here. Okay, so then we have our partial quotients, right? So again, partial quotients is utilizing easy numbers that you could think of, right? 10, hundreds, thousands, 50, etc. Those are numbers that ends in 0. Okay, they're in other words, they're called compatible numbers that end in 0 that you could easily calculate. Okay, if I tell you what's 9 times 100, right? In your mind, you're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna just ignore those zeros in the 100. What's 9 times 1? So if I know that 9 times 1 is 9, all I have to do is just add those zeros I erased in my mind, which gives me 900. So 9 times 100 is 900, okay? That's just using mental math, right? And these numbers, zeros, are easy to calculate. Then we're gonna go over using base 10 blocks, okay? Base 10 blocks is pretty much using, I'm gonna show you real quick. Let's say I have two desks. I have 2 desks here. And I have, my math problem is 1,200 divided by 2, okay? So these are, my divisor is showing what groups I'm gonna divide that dividend into, 1,200 into 2 groups. And I'm gonna use these, okay? Let's say I have 1,200 of these here. This is a flat. A flat is considered a value of 100. There's 100 little cubes in here. 10 flats is 1,000, okay? Then we have our rods, which is a value of just 10, has 10 cubes in it. Just single little cubes, right? So you're gonna use these base 10 blocks, right? Like we're gonna start off with our dividend. Our dividend is 1,000. Let's say this is 1,000, okay? And we're gonna utilize these to divide them visually into these two tables, okay? So if I have 1,000, you're gonna go down your place values. Okay, let's start with 1,000. What can I divide 1,000 into? So using your base 10 blocks, you could divide 500 and 500. So you're gonna take 5 of these, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, into one group, and 5 of these into the other group. Let me give you the first example, which is mental math. It's pretty easy. It's not hard. We have 280 divided by 7. Okay, using mental math, we're gonna focus on these two numbers first. These two numbers. We're gonna just forget about the 0. It could be a 0, it could be a 2, 3, 4, 5, it doesn't matter. It could be any number. We're just gonna forget about it for a second. And we're gonna use the first two numbers. Using your mental math, you're gonna look at that first two numbers. You're gonna say, okay, is 28 a multiple of 7? If you know your multiplications, you know that 7 times 4 equals 28. Okay? So 28 divided by 7 equals 4. I'm not done yet though, because in reality it's not 28, it's 280 divided by 7. So what I have to do is just add that 0 back that I took out. Okay? Now, let's look at how 28 increases, right? So you have 28, right? 7 times 4 equals 28. 7 times 40 equals 280, right? And if we go a step up more, 7 times 400 equals 2,800. If you look at these are increasing times 10, times 10, okay? All they're doing is multiplying your product times 10, times 10, times 10. So in reality, if you flip this, let's flip this here. Again, this is 28 divided by 7 will equal 4. 280 divided by 7 will give you 40. Then we have 2,800 or 2,800 divided by 7 will give you 400. Okay? Again, it's just the flip side. This is mental math. You're using your multiplication facts, okay, to figure out what the product is here. And if you look at it, they're increasing times 10, times 10, times 10. It's all using just mental math. Your multiplications, your times tables. If you know your 7s, you're gonna know what 28 divided by 7 is, okay? That's using mental math. Now, let's go over partial quotients. 4,281 divided by 9, okay? So we're gonna rewrite this division problem using our little building. All right, we're gonna use our little building. 4,281 goes in here. This is your dividend. That's the number that you wanna divide. 9 is what you're dividing that 4,281 into. Okay, you're making groups of 9. So what you're asking yourself is, how many times can 9 fit into 4,281? Okay, now using partial quotients. So this is where it comes in. That's why this method is very useful, because it's utilizing easy math. Now, if I wanted to use 10, for example, right? 10 times 9 equals 90. Now, I could continue using 10, right? I could continue using 10. But if you're gonna look at it, this here is gonna give me 1. This is 18, I'm borrowing from 2. This here is 9, 1, 4. Okay, this is gonna take me forever, okay? They're gonna have to take 90 all the way down and you're just using 10, 10, 10. And every time that you're using 10, you're just multiplying times 9. You're deducting 90 from your dividend all the time. The whole point here is to reduce that dividend as much as you can, as fast as you can, using easy numbers times 9. Okay, so for example, let's go back. We're not going to use 10. We're going to use bigger numbers. Let's see. Now you could use 9. No, you could multiply. You could use 100 to multiply 100 times 9, which gives you 900, which kind of cuts it down even more. Okay, cool. We could use that. That's fine. It's probably gonna still be a lot of math that you got to do, maybe 4 or 5 steps to deduct that dividend down to 0 or down to as much as you can. But again, 100 is just going to take me too long. So I could, again, if 100 is the only thing that you could use, or is the only thing that you could think of to deduct your dividend by, go ahead, by all means, keep using 100, right? But the whole point is, I want you to struggle. I want you to struggle and think about bigger numbers. Okay, so let's say 300. Okay, again, mental math. Let's look at that 3. Let's look at that 9. Okay, let's forget about the zeros. Put the zeros aside. Let's look at that 3 and that 9. So 9 times 3 is 27. Then I have to just add the zeros that you removed in your mind. 27. There you go. Now you're deducting 2,700 from that 4,281. Now you could have used a bigger partial quotient. 400. What would 400 times 9 give me? Okay, then you'll have 3,600. Now that's really chopping that big number down. Okay, so let's just use 400. 1, 8. Okay, 2 has to borrow from 4. This is 3. 2 becomes a 12. Okay, 12 minus 6 equals 6. Okay, now we chopped that dividend down by a lot. So what other number can we use times 9 to keep chopping that number down? So we have, let's say, I can't use 100 because 100 times 9 gives me 900. And again, you cannot go above your dividend. This is what I have remaining. Okay, so let's say, can 50 work? 50. Let's say 50. Okay, that's an easy number to look at, right? Because you have the 5 and the 0. And let's look at it. If you look at the 5 and the 0 in your mind, take away that 0. Take away that 0 and multiply 9 times 5. 9 times 5 is 45. Now you add the 0 back, gives me 450. All right? So now let's deduct 450 from my remaining dividend. We have 1, 3, 2. Okay, now I've used 400. I've used 50. What other number can I use? 20. Okay, let's look at that 20. Let's use mental math. Remove that 0. Okay, 2 times 9 gives you 18. Put the 0 back. Let's deduct it. This is 1. This here becomes a 13. Okay, let me just write 13 in black so you can see. This is a 13. I took it from here. I borrowed from the side. So this is 1. 13 minus 8. Okay, now I'm down to 51. I'm down to 51. What number times 9 will give me something close to 51, but does not surpass it. Let's keep thinking. What number? Let's go down our 9 times tables, okay? We know that 9 times 10 is 90. That's too much. Let's go 9 times 8. 9 times 8 is 72. That's still too much. Maybe I could go lower. How about 9 times 5? 9 times 5 gives me 45, which is still under my dividend remaining, okay? This turns into an 11, this into a 4. I borrowed from the 5, okay? 11 minus 5, 6, okay? Now, I have dropped my 4,281 all the way down to 6, okay? Now, can I still make more groups of 9 out of the 6? No, I can't. You can't divide 9 into 6 anymore, okay? So 6 would be called my remainder. Now, I'm not done yet. These here, guys, are called partial quotients. And if you could recall what I said a couple of minutes ago, your quotient is the answer to a division problem, the actual full answer. These are part of your answer. That's what's called partial quotients. 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 5 is 5. 0 plus 5 plus 2 is 7. 4 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 4. So my quotient, I was able to make 475 groups of 9, solid equal groups of 9, out of 4,281. But I had 6 remaining, okay? So my answer up here would be 475 remainder 6. Now you say, couldn't have I used, let's say 450? Yes, you could have used 450. Could you have used 470? Yes, I could have used 470. But that's not the point here. The point here is that if I look at this number, even for me as an adult, it's intimidating. 4,281 divided by 9 is intimidating. It's not something that you could calculate immediately unless you're a calculator or a robot, okay? So we're using partial quotients to keep knocking it down until we can't knock it down anymore, okay? So our partial quotients is gonna help us calculate a lot faster and a lot quicker. Some of the questions in the test are gonna tell them, hey, listen, can you write this 475 remainder 6 into a fraction form? It's very easy. To write this set 475 remainder 6 in fraction form, you're gonna write your full completed equal groups, right? Your 6 is gonna be your numerator, right? That's the amount of people that were left, right? And your denominator is gonna be your divisor, right? So your top number is called the numerator, your bottom number is called your denominator, okay? So the 6 is what's remaining. The 9 is your divisor, right? That's the amount of people per group, of items per group. And the 6 is what you have remaining. For 475 is the amount of groups that you were able to make equally, okay? This is all partial quotients. My God, I know you're gonna get headaches. It's a very difficult concept for them to get, but it's on the test. It's on the test, and it's honestly meant for them to calculate faster. If they were able to think of 475 from the top of the head, then this is not necessary, right? So this is partial quotients. Partial quotients, and yes, they're gonna get numbers this big, right? They're gonna get numbers this big. The third method, method 3, is using base 10 blocks. Base 10 blocks. Okay? Now, let's say they have a 2,800. Let's just stick with the 2,800 divided by 7, right? Okay, let's keep it simple. Let's do that. Let's divide it by 2. Divided by 2. You have 2 groups, right? Because you're dividing the 2,800 into 2 equal groups, right? You're using your base 10 blocks. So your base 10 blocks, let's say this is a cube. Okay, this equals 1,000. A cube is this. This is a cube. A cube has 10 flats. 10 of these equal this. This is a cube, which equals 1,000. A flat, okay, just a flat, this equals 100. A 10 rod, which is this right here, this equals, let's just draw one line, this equals 10. Okay, and our cubes are obviously equal 1. Our little cube, they're equal to 1. Okay, so what they're doing is, this equals to 1. What they're doing is they're utilizing the base 10 blocks, right, to divide, to visually see how the division works. So right now you've been given 2 cubes, 2 of these, okay, all right. Then you're given 8 of the flats. Don't make fun of my drawings, guys. I'm trying my best. There you go. 8 of the flats, right? So this is what you've been given, 2,800. What they want them to do is they want to divide that 2,800 into equal parts, okay? So we're gonna go place value by place value. Let's start at the 2. How can I divide that 2 into 2 equal parts? Okay, we have 1. Each of them is 1,000. This is 1,000. This is another 1,000. Okay, so now each group has 1,000. I just eliminated those. Now, how can I divide? Let's go now to my hundreds. How can I divide that 800 into my 2 equal parts? So you're gonna take, how many are in here? You could divide 8 divided by 2, which gives you 4. So 4 of these flats belong in each group. So now you have to find out how many are in each group. You're dividing 2,800 divided by 2. So in one group, I have 1,400. In another group, I have 1,400. So 2,800 divided by 2 equals 1,400. So I was able to make 2 groups of 1,400 equally. Now, there comes a case where you are dividing 3,800 divided by 2. Now in this case, I have another cube. Okay, so in this case, I have now, they've given me 3,800 divided by 2, okay? They're giving me 3,800 divided by 2. I have my 2 groups, and I have my 3,800 here. Now, how can I divide that 3 into 2? So what you could do is, okay, we know that our thousands could be divided, at least 2 of these could be divided into each group. So let's put 2 in here. I have 1, and I have 2. Okay, so now I have used 2 of the 1,000 cubes. Now, how can I divide this 1,000 into 2 groups? Again, how many of those flats fit in here? So you could fit 10 of these into here. So what you're gonna do is, you're gonna go to the store, the base 10 block store, and say, hey, listen, I wanna exchange my cube, right? I want you to break this up into 10 of these. So now I'm gonna break this up into 10 of my flats. Oops, sorry. 10 flats. All right, let's go right here and right here. Then 10, 5 more. So now I have 10 of my flats. Okay, now can I divide these 10 evenly into 2 groups? Yes, I can. So now I could put 5 here, 5, and then 5 here. Okay, so now I have used 5, 5, and my 5. So you see how I divided the 3,000 into 2 groups, right? I have exchanged one of the cubes into 10 of these flats. Then I could use those flats to divide into 2 of my groups. Now, let's go into the hundreds. So we have 800. Can I divide my 800 into 2 groups? Yes, I can, because it's an even number and I could divide it into 2 even groups, right? We have 4 flats and 4 flats here. So what I do is, just to put it in a different color, put 4 into this group, 4 into this group. Okay? So now I have completely used this, a group of 4 flats, and this group of 4 flats. So now, let's count how much I have in each group. I was able to make 1,000, right? This is 1,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1,500, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1,900, because 1,500 plus another 400 is 1,900. Okay? And here, let's see, 1,000, right? Then I have 5, 1,500. Then I have 4, 1,500 plus 400 will give me 1,900. And this, again, this is how you use base 10 blocks, okay? This is more of a visual for them to see, okay, let me use my base 10 blocks to divide my dividend into the amount of groups that they want us to divide into, okay? In this case, it was 2. So I have 1 group and another group. Again, these are the values, all right? And you're utilizing your base 10 blocks. There is a case where you have 1s and 10s. Let's say you have 26, okay? So we have 2 10s. So in this case, you're gonna have 2 of the 10s, right? Let's just use dots. Okay? Can I divide the 26 into 2 equal parts? Let's go with the 10s. Yes, I can. I could use 1 10 here, 1 10 here. I have used those. And just cross them out as you go. Cross them out as you go. Can I divide my 6? Yes, I can. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Again, this is using base 10 blocks, visually seeing the division that's going on here. We haven't gone into this yet. We will be going into this tomorrow until Friday. Friday, you'll get a review, study Saturday, Sunday, then go into Monday for your testing. Okay, so guys, this is the three methods that we've been using for partial quotients, using mental math, and now using the base 10 blocks. Okay, so if you have any questions, if you still don't understand, do not worry about it. Just shoot me a message and I'm more than welcome to go over another problem with you. So yeah, so just have a great night. Love you guys. I'm gonna post this on YouTube. Refer back to it if you need to, okay?